The Colorado Avalanche and St. Louis Blues will once again be meeting in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, this time in the second round. These division rivals certainly know each other well, and it should make for a great series. We're going to preview the matchup right now. Hey everybody, with the first round coming to a close, it is time to start previewing our second round series in this year's NHL playoffs. And to start things off, we're going to be looking at the 1 seed Colorado Avalanche playing the 3 seed St. Louis Blues in round number 2. These teams met in the playoffs last year in the first round, and Colorado swept St. Louis right out at the beginning. So the Blues are obviously looking for a very different result here. And I think this is a much better Blues team this season than the one that Colorado had to face last year. So I think this is going to be a good, long, hard series and should be a lot of fun, especially as these teams continue to build their rivalry with each other. But let's take a look at it here. And starting on the Colorado side of things, obviously great regular season for the Avalanche, 56-19-7, 119 points, first in the Central, first in the Western Conference. And against St. Louis this year, they went 2-1-0 in their 3 games against the Blues in the regular season. They're also coming off a 4-0 sweep of the Nashville Predators in round number 1. So Colorado making a little bit of a habit of those first-round sweeps. That hasn't always worked out great for them in the second round the past few years. We'll see if they can change that this year. Obviously, kind of one of the big talking points for the Avalanche is the fact that they haven't been able to get by the second round. We'll see if that can change this season. Colorado is a very high-scoring team in the regular season. 3.76 goals for per game, which is 4th best in the NHL. They way improved on that in the first round against Nashville. So far in the playoffs, 5.25 goals for per game, which is obviously first in the league. They absolutely lit up the Nashville Predators offensively in round number 1. 2.83 goals against per game in the regular season, which was 9th best in the league, down to 2.25 goals against in the first round of the playoffs, which is 3rd best in the league. And Nashville had absolutely nothing for the Avalanche. We will see if the Blues will be different. I think they will be. This is going to be a much tougher series for Colorado. 24% on the power play in the regular season, 7th best in the NHL. 43.8% on the power play in round 1 against Nashville, which was obviously first in the league. Literally scored on almost half of their power plays. And their penalty kill, 79.7% in the regular season, 15th in the league. 76.9% in the playoffs so far, which is 11th out of the 16 playoff teams. So kill hasn't been great. And that's something that's going to play a role because St. Louis scored some big power play goals in their first round series. Avalanche are going to need to stay out of the box and stay disciplined, or else they could make things a lot tougher on themselves if they're not able to do that and they have trouble killing off these penalties. Over on the other side of things, we've got the St. Louis Blues, who went 49-22-11, 109 points in the regular season, finished 3rd in the Central. They went 1-2-0 versus Colorado in the regular season this year, and they are coming off a 6-game series win, 4-2 over the Minnesota Wild. And obviously a massive win there for the Blues against a tough opponent in Minnesota, and it really set them up to, have some confidence and some belief that they can beat good teams. And Jordan Binnington, the emergence of him after Ville Husso started the series for the Blues, Binnington came in once the Blues got down in the series and was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And man, if he can get hot and get back to being like 2019 Jordan Binnington instead of 2020 or 2021 Jordan Binnington, the Blues become a much, much more dangerous team. Another thing that makes this Blues team massively dangerous is their offensive output. This team scores a lot of goals. And you haven't always said that about the Blues in their history. You know, they've kind of, for the most part, tended to be a more defense-first kind of team. That hasn't been the case this year at all. They were the third highest scoring team in the regular season at 3.77 goals for per game. And in their first round series against Minnesota, they scored 3.67 goals for per game, which is 6th among playoff teams so far. But obviously, this is a team that can really put the puck in the net. They gave up 2.91 goals against per game in the regular season, which was 11th best in the NHL. So far in the playoffs, they're 4th best in the playoffs at 2.67 goals against per game. So they actually did a really good job of keeping the puck out of their net in round number 1 for the most part and put up some good numbers there. Power play in the regular season was 2nd best in the league at 27%. They're 4th best so far among the playoff teams at 30.8% on the power play in that first round series against Minnesota. And they scored some big power play goals in that series. Again, Colorado in their kind of shaky penalty kill is going to have to stay out of the penalty box. And 84.1% on the PK in the regular season, which was 5th best in the league. 83.3% on the PK so far in the playoffs, which is 7th best. So pretty similar numbers there as far as PK goes. This is a great matchup. And like I said, you know, these teams played in the playoffs last year. I think this is a much better St. Louis Blues team than the team that Colorado had to play last year in round 1. This Blues team has a lot more offense, I think a lot more well-rounded. They're getting really good production out of a lot of different players. They're getting solid goaltending. Their special teams are really, really good. And that's going to make them very difficult to beat. I see this for sure being a long, hard series that is going to be a tough one and a really fun one to watch too, because obviously these teams, division rivals, they've played in the playoffs before. There's some building rivalry there between these two, and it should make for some great playoff hockey. So I certainly think it's going to be a much tougher series for Colorado in round 2 than they had in round 1. St. Louis, they're coming off a pretty tough series against Minnesota. They're going to have to keep playing the same way that they have been. The Avalanche, obviously they played great in round 1, easily dispatched of the Predators. I don't think it's going to be so easy this time, but if they keep playing with at the elite level that they did in the first round, they're going to be able to show why they're a top seed for sure. And I see this one definitely going 6 or 7 games. I think it's going to be a long, hard-fought series, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go with the Colorado Avalanche here. I just think the Avs are going to have a little bit more firepower, a little bit better goaltending, and it's going to be a tough one. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to say the Avalanche squeeze this one out in 7 games and are able to come away and finally get over the hump and get past the second round, which they haven't been able to do in the last number of years. I think this is the year it finally happens. I think it's time. This is a great Avs team. Darcy Kemper in goal, assuming he's fully recovered from the eye injury, should be all set, ready to go for this series. And I think he's going to play very well. And that's going to be a big difference for the Avalanche. And this is going to be a team that's able to finally make a conference final with this McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog, Makar group. And they're going to be very happy about that. So I got Colorado in 7 here. I think it's going to be a long, hard-fought series, a very fun one to watch, a great divisional rivalry matchup, and I cannot wait to see the puck get dropped in this one. So there's my preview on the Colorado Avalanche versus St. Louis Blues round 2 matchup. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our merchandise store, membership, and donations are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.